We've got Dr. Ed McDonald here to set the record straight. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing all your knowledge with us. So let's get to some of these home remedies. So let's see if they have scientific proof or not. So let's kick it off with honey.
Okay, so honey, there's actually a lot of studies that people have done to look at honey, and it actually works better than most cough syrups you can get over the counter. So
For coughing?
For coughing.
Great, and it's natural.
And it's natural, so I use it all the time. Just don't use it in babies because kids under the age of 1 should not have any honey.
Okay, very good
so that's good to know. Now, a common one that everybody's heard of is the chicken noodle soup approach.
Yeah, so back in the 1970s, researchers did a study that actually looked at chicken noodle soup for helping out with runny noses. And amazingly, the chicken noodle soup is better at treating a runny nose than just hot water alone. So it may be better than some teas.
Yeah, what
now,
about
why is that, though, going back to the chicken noodle soup?
It's probably some of the steam, and plus there's probably just the nutrients. So chicken noodle soup, I don't know how your grandma makes it, but it should have like carrots and onions.
It's got all the
veggies.
A lot of good veggies, so there's probably a lot of good nutrients in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about elderberry?
So elderberry, I actually never heard of this until I've
never seen this till you brought it into
it's awesome. I use elderberry all the time. So there was a study that showed that people who are doing a lot of travel, so when you're getting on these planes and doing these international flights, people who took elderberry actually had a lower risk of developing cold just by being exposed to all the different viruses on the plane.
Okay.
So is this a one-a-day kind of thing, or do you wait until you get sick to take this?
You can take it preventive if you're doing traveling, and if you are sick and have a cold, it may decrease the duration of the cold.
Okay, very good. So elderberry, everybody.
And I know a lot of like gummy vitamins have animal products, and these don't. So these
is that kind of like a blueberry taste to it?
It has a blueberry taste. So
cool.
that is definitely vegan. So if you're vegan, you can totally have that.
Love it. All right, let's talk about tea.
So tea, a lot of people use chamomile tea, but there's actually no studies out there that shows chamomile tea does anything. Now, if it makes
That's interesting.
If it makes you feel better, then by all means, you can go ahead and do it. There's nothing wrong with chamomile tea, but it's just, there's no evidence behind it.
And that helps you sleep, right? Like people like chamomile for that?
So it may help you sleep, but if anything, for a cold, the steam is just going to help clear up your sinus passages.
Okay.
Very interesting. All right, the next one I live off emergencies. I think those are huge. I take them preemptively sometimes, even if I get a sense that something's coming. Is that a smart move, Doc?
So vitamin C, totally good for you. There was a good study that looked at vitamin C for decreasing the duration of colds, and they found that people who did like 8 of those in a day had a lower duration of having a cold, and they also had less severe symptoms.
That's a lot of vitamin C.
It's a lot of vitamin C. And
because each one has what, like?
1,000 milligrams.
Oh my gosh, yeah, so, like 1,000%.
Can you do too much of this?
Well, you can't do too much of anything, but ultimately I recommend that people just get vitamin C from natural sources.
Okay.
So lemon is a good source of vitamin C. If you're doing your tea, throw some lemon in there. Kiwi is actually a really great source of vitamin C.
Oh, okay.
So if you love kiwis, first of all, kiwis are amazing. I recommend that everybody try kiwi.
Do you love kiwi, Jordan?
So, Doc, I got a confession for you.
He smiled, so this is why I'm wondering.
I've never tried kiwi in my life. You don't want to know why?
Do you want to try one?
Because it needs a Brazilian. It's a little too hairy for me.
Well, look, these are peeled.
You got to do
try
kiwi,
it.
man.
Try your first kiwi on TV. This is exciting.
Doc, what's this going to do? It's going to keep me from getting sick?
It's going to keep you from getting sick. It's going to keep your skin looking good. Kiwi is amazing. Oh.
With the sound effect and everything.
First time ever. You didn't spit it out.
That's great.
What do you think? You like it?
If it wasn't our producer Melissa's, I'd eat all of it.
All right.
It's really, really good right there.
There you go. What about peppermint oil?
So peppermint oil is also great. So it really helps out with preventing coughs. So you can use it almost as a natural cough syrup. So for me, when I have a cold, I take some of the honey, I throw some peppermint oil in there, and just make my own little cough drop out of it.
In like tea?
So
or hot water? Or how do you use peppermint oil?
I just get the honey, put it in a teaspoon, and drop the peppermint oil in there.
Oh, nice.
Just take it straight.
Straight up.
Straight up. But you can't throw it in tea.
And finally, one more thing, garlic.
So garlic, there was 8 studies that looked at garlic, and they didn't find any evidence that garlic does anything.
Really?
And it's funny, I had somebody come in, and they were carrying garlic in their purse, and I'm like, why do you have this garlic? And
to ward away vampires.
Right. Well, that's what I thought, but they were using it for a cold, so I had to tell them there's no evidence.
Well, good, because when my fiance eats a little bit of garlic, everybody pays the price. Dr. Ed, Happy New Year to you, my friend. Thank you for dropping some knowledge to us. It's always nice to have you in.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. And for more nutritional tips from Dr. Ed McDonald, make sure you check out his blogs at thedockskitchen.com. That's right, thedockskitchen.com.